I figured it's about time for me to get you a video where you get to know me some, for those of you who might be new. Um, this is going to be a heavier video. My life, you guys might be wondering why I'm so serious, why I have such serious videos, and they're not always going to be like that, I promise you. But it's about time that you get to know who I am. And this is going to be some deeply personal stuff. I'm not going to reveal any names or anything like that or any personal information because this is the internet and I'm not stupid. Sorry, it's the morning, it's 5 a.m. Anyway, I'm going to dive right in because it's going to be a long story. I was born in 1994 in October. I was premature by 2 months, and my mom, from the stories I hear, called me a witch baby at first. She didn't want me because I was supposed to be born in December, and she was really nervous because October and Halloween freaks her out. My parents divorced when I was 2. For what reason, I don't know. There are rumors that he beat her. There are rumors that she cheated on him. I don't know what was what because I was too young. For the next 5 years, my mom lived with an abusive man named Keith. I'll reveal his name because he's dead. It doesn't matter. He died on the last day of first grade when I was 7 years old. Now, for 5 years, this man beat me and my mother. I remember specifically being beaten with a bat. I remember being bitten. I remember him coming into my room in the middle of the night. And I was very young. You can't do this to a young child. This wasn't even in October. This was any day of the week. He would come into my room wearing a mask and scare the living hell out of me, waking me up in the middle of the night. He died in a fight with police when they were called. We then moved to Florida with some family. And we lived there for a couple years. I was told I would be able to skip 5th grade if I wanted, but my mom didn't want that because she thought it would cause social problems. And I disagree with her, but the past is past, oh well. You might be hearing some stuff about my mom you don't like, so I'm gonna do a disclosure real quick. My mom has permanent brain damage because Keith was a black belt and he headbutted her directly. And she's also been in 2 car accidents since I've been alive. So she has a neck injury. She had to have a bone in her neck replaced with a hip bone. And she is not always in her right mind. Now, my mom's last name is Al Baladejo. It's a Puerto Rican name. My dad often uses that when they fight and calls her I'm a dumb hoe to make fun of her. And it's not okay. It's not okay. My dad is an abusive man verbally. I don't know if he's physically ever been abusive, but he is a verbally abusive man. Now, when we moved back to PA 2 years after we lived in Florida, during the time in Florida, I had gained some weight. And while I was in school, people used to make fun of me for the way I looked and for the way I have a deeper voice. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Before any of you trolls start to make fun of me, I have polycystic ovary syndrome. Now, polycystic ovary syndrome gives you weight problems, it gives you a deeper voice, it gives you higher male hormones in your body, more body hair, and it also makes you possibly infertile, which means I can't have kids. So, please, shut your mouths before you make fun of me, because it's not welcome, and you will be reported and deleted. I grew up and I found out that I was diagnosed with manic depression, and that was later on. But going back to where I was, we moved back to Pennsylvania, to Lancaster County area for about 4 years of my life between Lidditz and Blue Ball. At one point we were locked out of our house. They changed the locks. And they had good reason to, for reasons I won't explain though. And I lived in a car for a few days until my dad took me to Coatesville. I said something wrong. I wasn't street smart as a kid. I said something wrong. I don't know what I said that was wrong, to be honest, but I was chased home by about 30 kids. So it must have been serious. My dad chased them off, and I moved back to Lancaster County. That was for the second 2 years. Excuse me. I lived with my grandmother and my mom then. And I was bullied more often and not allowed to go outside as much because mom was scared for me. I finally made some real friends though, and I was excited. I was thinking, okay, I can live here. I'll be happy here. And then we moved to Downingtown because mom decided to move back in with my father. And why, I don't know. I met a boy in 7th grade, and we were fast friends, and a year later I asked him out. Out of the belief that, because I had heard that he liked me too, and I sincerely believed no one would ever love me, so I thought this is my chance. We dated for 3 years, and he left me for my best friend. And she's no longer my best friend. During these years, I was asked out often as a joke. People made fun of me for the way I am. And I was also just generally struggling more and more with my depression because in 9th grade, my brother was arrested on false charges. And yes, we were told by the cops that they were for false charges on him, but he confessed, so they used it against him to help the public sleep at night. Now, that's a controversial thing. If you want to know about that, look up Roger Leon Barlow Jr. on Google. I can give his name away. It doesn't fucking matter. As far as I'm concerned, my brother, I love him to death, but he made a stupid choice. So, it's whatever. I was struggling a lot. I lost my brother to prison, and he's still there, but now he's challenging it. He's gonna get out soon. But over time, I learned just how abusive my father is. Verbally, he's a prick, and he's a drunk. He's an alcoholic. He doesn't drink anything but beer. Where a normal person would drink tea during the day and maybe some beer later, he drinks beer all day long. Perpetually buzzed. His liver is failing. He has hepatitis C. And my mom's brain damage and chain smoking is slowly killing her as well. So my parents are dying, my brother's in jail. My grandfathers are dead. They died a long time ago. I didn't know them well enough to be attached. My grandmothers are still alive, but my mom on my dad's side has Alzheimer's, and it's setting in pretty bad. She's 91 years old now. Very frail and sweet, but it's hard to talk to her anymore. So I'm not very attached to her anymore either. I'm very much alone. One of my cousins revealed to me at one point that he was cheating on his girlfriend, and at the time I considered her like a sister. So I struggled with it for a while until I told her about it, and then he got mad at me. But personally, this is my belief. If you put your secret that is like that in the hands of someone else, you're putting that burden on their shoulders. It was my responsibility to tell her the truth. And he became very angry at me and stopped talking to me. And it just caused a lot of familial drama. Now, I went to graduate in 2013, and I was supposed to be the first in my family to go to college, but in between 2012 and 2013, I overdosed, and I was extremely suicidal. I wasn't handling anything well because before I overdosed, I was raped by that boyfriend I mentioned earlier. And I'm not going to go into that because I can't. I can't right now. Not on a video to people I don't know. I've gone over it so many times. Anyway, I've been through all of that, and I eventually just moved out of my house. My dad got drunk when I first started dating Judas. And I stayed with Judas for 3 days when we met. I came home and my dad said, if you like him so much, why don't you just get the fuck out? And I looked to Judas and I said, I just got kicked out of my house. And Judas took me in. And I've lived with him for 2 years now, and we're slowly getting better and better. But long story short, that's the heaviness that is my life. and Judas has made it a lot better, and you will actually see some of that. I will give you a lighter video to know the better sides of me later, and I will also give you more insight into everything else. But if this video was mostly to clarify why I'm so serious and why I take everything so seriously, now you know. I'm gonna sign off for now. I'll probably add a singing video later, and I'm probably going to be recording at some point with Vic the Rocker Chick, so that's gonna be fun. But for now, I'm exhausted and I'm gonna get some sleep, so bye.